This is where we'll start the interview.
Me too, James.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking, I went to Panera Bread.
Okay.
It was essentially the hospital food.
Oh, delicious.
Fast food type
Yep,
thing.
yep.
You know, I got some.
Is that Mountain Dew?
It's peach green tea.
Wow.
Lightly sweetened.
Does it have some caffeine in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to need some caffeine before we do the jits, so I got the coffee bang.
Coffee bang's a little weird. You know what's funny is anytime there's this pull-up gas station where you drive through and you ask for what you want and they give it to you. And
Sounds like a dream come true.
It's pretty cool, but like the thing is, like, I don't know all the bang flavors. And like, sure enough, if you ask them, just like, yeah, just give me any flavor, they're gonna give you like the weirdest one.
Really?
Every time you're just like, give me something normal. You know, give me.
They're like rainbow unicorn.
No,
definitely.
see, that's like a fruity flavor. They're bringing out like the coffee keto bang.
That's what this is. This is coffee keto bang. Potent brain and body fuel.
I don't know, man. I think that would just upset my stomach.
It would give you the poops? Is that what you're going to say?
Pretty much, yeah. I didn't know if those were appropriate to say. I used to, when I was training, not when I was training, I'm always training, I'd switch probably every 6 months between bangs and like a quad shot of espresso.
Yeah. I've been in the truck with you when you get that.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. I'll do 4 shots over ice, 2 pumps of white mocha, just a splash of half and half in a venti cup. Yeah. Or not a venti, in a tall.
Tall.
Just real tiny.
Yeah.
Just super ready to go.
Yeah, no, that's funny. You know the whole thing about, like, I used to work at Starbucks.
I feel like it'd be a fun job.
You know what? It was kind of fun.
I feel like
I'm not going to lie to
cool.
you, except that I was on lots of drugs, and so I was always kind of suffering whenever I would come to work. I'm serious, dude. Like, I had to come in. I had the graveyard shift, too, so it was like my first adult job, and I would show up just like after a night of just, straight up smoking crack. I'm not joking.
No, I believe I could just see it. Like, you're like coming down like so hard.
Yeah.
And you're just like, all right, I just want today just to be like an easy day. And then the first order is like, can I have a double venti, double, triple, quadruple, double? And you're just like,
no, actually, you can't. I remember this one time this lady came in and one of the other Starbucks that she normally went to was closed.
Okay.
And she was so upset, and I had a little holiday in her misery. Like, I just watched her talk about how upset she was that the other place was closed, and it made me happy.
Like, did you know that the Starbucks off Ventura's closed?
Yeah, and I was like, no, I didn't know that. That's terrible news.
Oh my god. Yeah, I always thought Starbucks would be a cool job. I love coffee. I have an espresso machine, like the really nice one.
You do?
Where you tamp it and the steam and all the crap, and I have no idea how to use it.
Really?
No, I've had it for 2 years. Don't know what's going on. It's just.
Do you use it?
No, it takes up like half my counter.
Really? So you want to sell it?
No. I've had a lot
you
of
want
offers.
me to come over and show you how to use it?
You know what? Actually, yeah, that makes sense. You probably know how to use one of these things.
I was a barista.
It's extremely complicated. I'm trying to think of like what jobs I hated the most when I was getting high.
All of them?
Well, some of them, you can kind of party while you're like landscaping. You just get trashed the whole time. It depends what type of crew you're working with. Because landscaper guys normally, whether they're addicts or not, they're down to drink beers before 12 noon.
Yeah.
So they pick you up, maybe drink a few beers, get to the job site where I'm going to be weed whacking, and then smoke a joint, and then just blah blah blah, get lunch.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
While it sounds cool in theory, that sounds like there's also a part of me that's like, that sounds terrible at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I was younger, and then I graduated into like harder drugs. Then I remember after Hurricane Sandy hit, my buddy started this tree working business, and it was like just like ball busting like labor. Mm-hmm. And I knew he would pay me every day.
Yeah.
And it was just at this point where I was kind of in like full on like using mode, like just trying to get by every day. And he picked me up at like 7, 8 in the morning, and then we go to these big jobs where all these trees are down, and I'd just be like basically just hauling shit back and forth all day, like busting your back. And then by the time we get home, he'd pay me, and it'd be like 7, 8 o'clock at night, like sometimes, and that's when I stopped showering.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? It's like you work all day and then you get home and you're like, I just want to go get high.
Yeah.
So basically I just like change my clothes and then just go do whatever I had to do, and then bank on maybe taking a shower in the morning, but then it just like all start over, and it's like 6, 7 days like not showering and just getting high, and that was terrible.
Yeah.
That was terrible. Not fun like landscaping. That's when getting high wasn't really fun anymore. I remember for me, like my big pivotal thing is when Hurricane Sandy hit. That was impactful for a lot of people, just in all shapes or forms, because big parts of New Jersey and New York were out of power for like 2 weeks. And my dad worked for the power company. My mom, we had this little place in Rehoboth Beach, so she went there. And they were basically just like, watch the house and just do your thing. So my dad was gone 24/7. He was able to bring gas home. There's gas shortages. So I was basically just in my house with no power with my girlfriend. I had free gas. So me and the people I was getting high with, I was kind of funding the gas, and then we would all drive down. And I was just getting wrecked for probably 14 days straight of just candles and just no power. And I remember, this is when everything changed. I remember when the power came back on, I was like, fuck. Like, this is all coming to an end.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having a really good, not like a good time, but I'm like, this works.
Right.
But then I was like, oh yeah, the college is opening back up, time to go back to school, all this stuff. And yeah, that was,
That's like seeing the sun come up in the morning after you've been up all night doing some uppers, and you're like, no.
Yeah, it was just like, I remember just the power came on, we had heat and all this. And
the lights come on, and you see the filth and the depravity.
And I was like, I'm not trying to, I'd rather just keep things like this. So shortly after is probably when I got clean, I would say.
Damn. What was your drug of choice?
Mostly heroin, and this was back when it was like just heroin. There wasn't like a fentanyl thing.
Yeah.
So you could develop like a pretty big expensive habit.
Yeah.
And then it all kind of starts over again if you start shooting up, your habit kind of gets cheap again, and then it just skyrockets back up.
Right.
But no, I remember experimenting with like painkillers when I was like 13 or 14. Mm-hmm. And then everything I did, I always knew like that was the feeling I was trying to. Yeah. That's what I was trying to do.
Right.
Whether people were like, I got Xanax, Nexium, I fucked around with everything, but that was like the main. I remember I tried a painkiller. I tried a Roxy when I was like 13 or 14, and for years I could not find painkillers. And I would like ask everybody for years. I was like trying to hunt them down, and then Roxy's became really popular, and me and my sister were kind of using together at the time, and then she started selling them. And then I was trying to like get him to sell them, and then it all just got shitty, really bad. Yeah. Spent probably close to $10,000 on those Roxy 30s.
Damn.
Well, they were $30 a piece, and I didn't have a play on getting them any cheaper or anything like that. So eventually, I knew this kid that had heroin at this party, and I was like, "Come here, dude. Show me what the fuck's up." I know, I know you're trying to hide it and act like, you don't do heroin. I know you do. So let's bust it out. Show me what's good. I remember I just did this little tiny bump, and I was just rocked. And I was like, all right, where can we get more of that? Let's go right now. Yeah. This party sucks.
Yeah.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
So yeah, mainly heroin.
That's funny. We have that initial drug experience, and then like you said, you couldn't find what you wanted for years, but you were after it. You were
I knew
you
what
were
it was.
obsessed with it, and you were like, I don't, it's like this elusive thing that we're trying to catch, right? And it's like, where does that come from? Because it's the same thing for me. It wasn't necessarily. I just wanted to be as obliterated as possible. It didn't necessarily matter per se what it was that I took. I just wanted to be anything except for right here, right now, feeling this. That was my entire purpose, was to stop feeling what's happening right now.
Yeah, I think I can't even begin to start to fathom the conversation of where it comes from, but I know what it does.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I know what it does, and I know I like it.
Yeah.
I remember, not only just feeling high, but just being young and having extreme amounts of confidence. Kind of that feeling of feeling a part of.
Yeah.
Or maybe not worrying about being an outcast.
Yeah.
I kind of felt whole with what was going on.
Yeah.
when I would get high. I know it would do that for me. I know it would give me a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
In terms of like why, I mean, if you and me could figure that out right now, we'd be millionaires. No, I don't know.
Hey, you know what? The Buddha figured out how to end suffering for all of mankind once under a tree. He just sat there until he figured it out. So let's just we'll just cancel our plans for jujitsu this evening. We'll become millionaires.
The whole thing is just kind of weird. You have nature versus nurture. And the thing is, because you and I, we work in that industry of helping people with substance use problems, and it's everybody.
Yeah.
It's everybody.
Yeah.
All walks of life.
Yep.
Foreign people, rich people, poor people.
Famous people.
People
People that are super successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I can't begin to kind of diagnose what's going on. For me, I kind of believe that a lot of addiction comes from undiagnosed mental illness, and people are ignorant to the fact that they might have a mental illness, and with that comes kind of like the underlying issue of substance abuse.
Yeah.
And the term self-medicating.
Yeah.
Because why is it when a lot of people do like heroin, they're like, yeah, I can concentrate.
Yeah.
When I do heroin, I can like go.
Yeah.
I can.
Because I finally stopped thinking about whether or not all of the stuff that I give too much of a fuck about. Whether or not these people like me, whether or not I'm good at what I'm doing, I just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember that because I actually did heroin for a little while too, and it started with pain pills. I think I hurt my back and someone gave me a pain pill and I was like, well, this rocks, and I just kept on going and then I ran out of pain pills. Same old story. Same exact story.
Yeah.
But it was interesting, like when I would get high on heroin specifically, it was such a relief to stop caring what people thought about me because I'm so in my head about that frequently.
Yeah, I am too, and I think it led me to be a people pleaser. I kind of grew up being like, kind of like took on like some of that like class clown identity, and it wasn't. I knew I was doing it because I wanted people to like me. I wanted to make people laugh. I knew like if I would fuck off, it would make people think maybe I was cool, and I think a lot of that was a product of just in my head, like thinking what people thought of me and wanting people to like me, wanting to fit in, and I ran with that for a long time.
Yeah.
Until it got to the point where like I thought doing these things would make me cool and get me where I need to be. Then it like turned into like, well, where's the party tonight? And people are like, don't invite Colt.
Yeah.
Because he'll mess up your house. He'll get wasted. He'll steal something. He'll invite a bunch of people. And I thought that was like the cool and funny thing to do.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that was a product of trying to please other people.
Yeah.
Fit in and be liked.
Right. Like in a really counterintuitive way, though. Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
And then when you arrive at that point where you realize like everything you tried to emulate and be is actually what pushes people away, you're like, fuck.
And it's a lie too.
Yeah. It's like not really who you are.
And it's glorified in film and television and stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Like the whole like Project X thing and fucking Steve-O.
Yeah.
Now he's really turned it around, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of kids see stuff like that and they think they're like missing out.
Yeah.
It's like I watch these like Barstool Sports and all these like crazy college parties. I mean, I'm pushing 30 and I see that stuff and I'm like, I feel like I missed out.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not a good place to be.
No.
But you don't gotta let yourself go there.
No. I think my heroes were like Jim Morrison.
Okay.
I loved that, like, he was like a drug trash can. He was just like,
yeah.
And he was like famously like had a huge tolerance and resilience. So he was just like taking more than everybody else and doing better at it. And I was like, I want to be like that,
That's
I want to,
cool.
Yeah.
So who were your, let's say, like, at what age did you start developing like heroes?
Yeah.
And people you looked up to?
Yeah.
Kind of like what reasons? Like Jim Morrison, like
Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain.
Okay.
Like these guys that sacrificed their mind and their body for their artistry. For me, it was all artists. It was like musicians, usually a lead singer, and and a lot of them died at 27. You know, I think in fact all of the ones that I just mentioned, those 3 died at 27.
Yeah, I think Lane Staley as well.
Yeah, did he die at 27?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't. We need the fact checker guy.
Yeah.
We're
Where's
getting
Jamie
there.
at?
Yeah. Jamie, check that for me real quick.
Damn.
I do think that's the case though. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, I don't know. I thought that was cool too to die at 27. You know, and then 27 came and went, and I was still miserable, and I wasn't famous either, so that was kind of a bummer.
I'm trying to think like what my early development of like heroes were and who I like looked up to.
Yeah. Who was it for you?
Shit, I don't know, man. Probably everyone in the movie Armageddon.
Okay.
Number 1.
Okay.
Those guys are badass.
Yeah.
Probably everyone in the movie The Perfect Storm.
Okay.
'Cause they're fucking badass too.
Okay.
I think we need more of that too. I think like back like those old like hero movies.
Yeah.
You had a lot of dudes that looked like dads.
Yeah.
Like they were balding. They weren't shredded. They didn't
Yeah.
look like Thor.
Yeah.
They were like hardcore like blue collar guys.
Yeah.
And you could kind of like I remember like watching like those guys and being like they look like my dad. You know,
Right.
because my dad's like just like a big burly
Yeah.
like, you know, lumberjack looking dude.
Yeah.
So movie wise, I was like those guys are really cool and they're like heroes. And
Yeah.
if something bad happens, like they're gonna fucking save the day.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, but I'd say a lot of like athletes and stuff. Well, like you know, like mixed martial arts athletes and jiu-jitsu athletes and stuff. You got Bruce Lee,
Bruce.
Dan Gable. Dan
Okay.
Gable, huge hero of mine.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know who that is.
Dan Gable is an extremely successful wrestler.
Okay.
He basically went his whole career undefeated, except one of his last matches in college, if I'm not mistaken. Then he won a gold medal in the Munich Olympics. I think without getting a single point scored on him. If I'm not mistaken, the Munich Olympics also involved a terrorist attack.
Wow.
During the whole, so that's makes it more epic. And then he went on to coach Iowa, the Hawkeyes, to just multiple, you know, NCAA titles,
Yeah.
titles.
Yeah.
And I always thought like his mindset and just his motivational speeches and you know what he was about, kind of like hard work, like really like grinding,
Yeah.
hard work in the wrestling room. You know, like you don't have to be perfect and skilled, but if you do put in, you know, the 10,000 reps and you want to be better, you know, hard work will kind of beat talent. And he was just like,
I love that.
he was just, and he's the guy's like super old now.
Yeah.
And he'll still be like working out and running and talking about wrestling.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, all he embodies. And I think that was one of my like teenage
That's
kind of like heroes.
because I didn't come to that like appreciation for people who tout the benefit of working hard until I was like, you know, recently. You know, like I was always like into the mystical, like how did they come upon their talent? It's just a mystery type people. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Which is not true anyway. Like they all worked really hard. They just don't talk about it.
Right.
You know?
Right. I'm trying to think who what other heroes I had or people I wanted to meet or emulate. I don't know. Michael Chandler fought last night, lost. I absolutely love that dude. Super badass. He's definitely going to win a UFC title within the next year and a half, I'm going to assume. Did lose last night to Charles Oliveira, though.
So you started wrestling in what, middle school or
So I was
even
kind of
before
all
that?
over the place. I started wrestling in preschool. I stopped at middle. Okay, wrestling and taekwondo in preschool, and then kind of that petered out in middle school. Then I started doing a lot of club wrestling in high school. So we had a lot of really really cool outlets to do that because it was very popular up north. You have like the Edge in Hoboken and just all these places that you could go specifically for wrestling. And then probably when I was around maybe 13, I was living out in LA and my mom got me involved at this gym. It was called Legends MMA. It was in Hollywood. And it was owned by like Randy Couture. It was kind of like helmed to be the next big MMA gym.
Okay.
And Eddie Bravo was originally kind of teaching his 10th Planet stuff out of there.
Wow.
I never took any classes with him, but I just kind of took their like MMA classes. It's kind of weird because it was like MMA, like you're punching and doing stuff, and I didn't really know what the hell was going on, but I was like really hooked. And then when I got home back to Jersey, I told my mom, I was like, I want to like start boxing, you know. And she called around and she took me to this gym. Well, before she took me, she's like, hey, this gym, She's like, they do boxing. She's like, but the guy was kind of saying, like, they do, like, everything. And this is before I kind of understood, like, mixed martial arts and that it kind of involved multiple styles. And I was trying to avoid, like, martial arts. I wanted to, like, box and wrestle. And I didn't think of those as martial arts as well. So I remember I went to the gym, and his name was probably one of my first original coaches. His name's Sifu Dave Ferreira. And at the time, he was a purple belt. Just like an old school, like, kung fu fighter, stick fighter guy, like, really badass, like, really, like, nasty. Just really nasty. And I saw the gi, and I was like, fuck that. I was like, that's stupid. Like, I was like, I'm trying to, this is the opposite of what I'm trying to do. But I was like, well, I wrestle and this and that. And he's like, well, this is kind of like that, but you got to make your partner, like, say uncle. I'm like, like, tap him out. I was like, okay, I get it. And I remember I went and took a class, and I just got, like, the shit kicked out of me.
Yeah,
just the absolute shit kicked out of me.
Of course, right?
And I was so pissed off. And I was like, all right, like, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of been like that ever since. And then I went on. I moved to South Florida when I was about 20. I started coaching wrestling there at this charter school with one of my really good training partners, this guy Kurt. Got my brown belt in South Florida in 2016 or 17. Or this guy named Rodrigo Mendez. It was a school called RMBJJ. It's off Linton and Federal Boulevard, Delray Beach, Florida. Amazing guy. Kind of like one of my, someone. It's a big difference between like coach and mentor, kind of like both at the same time.
Yeah.
He really took me under my wing and kind of really gave me a bigger understanding of jiu-jitsu. And that's kind of how the cookie crumbled. Now I'm in Asheville and still training, doing my thing.
And tying it all together with like recovery, has the jiu-jitsu been, because it was for me, it was like super supplemental to my recovery.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this. Like 12 steps, Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, whatever 12-step fellowship you like. They got an answer there.
Yeah.
There's something that they provide that really, really helps people.
Yep.
And I think if you're new in recovery, I think you should join 12-step fellowship because it's going to teach you something.
Yeah.
It's going to get you in the habit of doing something that's really going to help you.
Yeah.
Now, once you get a few years clean, you kind of understand like what are 12-step programs and what are other things that are very similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
I had a huge leg up because before I got clean, I had already been doing jiu-jitsu for years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really awesome to kind of come into a sport and not be terrible at it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to like relive that fear of starting over again.
Yeah.
So for me, jiu-jitsu's always been, like 12 steps jiu-jitsu. They're both tribal.
Yep.
It's
an accountability.
It's an accountability thing. You're going to go and you're going to be amongst a larger group of people than just one person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of that whole, what one person can't do, we can all do together.
Mm-hmm.
You're drawing the similarities there.
Yep.
And, the whether it's the group of NA or whether it's a group in a training session, not one person is kind of bigger than all that's participating in it. And I think, to take the time out of your evening or day or whatever to get there, and for me, when you're training, I always tell guys this, you're staying out of trouble.
Yeah.
For people who are new in recovery, I always tell them, listen, good thing to do is, let's say you work and then you come right to training. You're going to train from, 5:45 to maybe 8 o'clock at night. You're going to be friggin' exhausted. You're going to go home. You're going to shower. You're going to eat. You're going to sleep.
Yep.
And you're going to do it all again the next day.
Yep.
And intermix your meetings in there, maybe some therapy. And for me, you're really filling your schedule. You're doing something that holds you accountable, and it's making you, like, physically and mentally better.
Mm-hmm. And it's tiring you out, too, right?
Yeah.
It's wearing you out when you're in those, like, early stages and you're just, like, all raw and your head's spinning like a hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think martial arts are amazing for everybody, and I think there's a million different kinds of martial arts that anybody can do and participate in, regardless of their attributes.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really good thing to kind of tie in with recovery. That's why, the Friday night training session, that was originally for for men in recovery that wanted to kind of, train. So that's what it is. It's a safe space available on a Friday night if you want to learn martial arts. Now it's really just hardcore jiu-jitsu heads trying to find more mat time.
Yeah.
But we get some guys that come.
Yeah, and every once in a while they keep coming.
Yeah, and that's why we have, guys like Ben and other people where it clicks.
Yeah.
And that goes back into, if we're just saving one person, then maybe that's like a good job.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and there's something to be said too for the fact that it's keeping us sober, man. You know what I mean? It's keeping us. It gives you a goal to work toward. And I like one of the other things that I really like about it is it's hierarchical.
Yeah.
Like you have a belt structure, which kind of helps you stay humble.
Yeah.
I don't want to go out and get in fistfights with anybody.
Well, you don't know.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like people think, oh, well, now you could kick somebody's ass, and you're like, you don't know who knows anything.
You know how many nerds I train with that can kick my ass?
Yeah, man. You're not going to go out and start fights with people. You have a really, really strong respect for how easy it is to injure, maim, kill the human body when you do some martial arts. You're not going to go out and like pick fights with people.
Yeah.
Martial artists don't really do that.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I think for me, like it's definitely something I don't want to lose.
Yeah.
And again, like, before I got clean, I already had so much value kind of built into it. And it also helps me too with just like living a healthier life.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, like I know if I eat like this, or if I do this, if I don't drink enough water, this guy's gonna kick my ass. Or there's someone out there that's treating themselves more healthy, healthier than me, and I'm gonna have to go up against them.
Yeah, and they're going harder.
Yeah.
So when I first started doing martial arts as an adult, I had just gotten sober like a month before. It was my birthday. Mm-hmm. Like I got sober on the day before Halloween. My birthday is November 17th, so it wasn't even quite a month yet. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, it's my birthday. I'm sober. Like, I'm going to start doing the shit that I wanted to do my whole life. I'm going to take some Kung Fu.
All right.
So I started taking Kung Fu, and I studied this with this amazing dude in Los Angeles. Shout out to Michael Mendoza. And he was showing me Kung Fu forms, feeding crane Kung Fu. But we were also he was teaching me martial arts. And he's talking to me about God and talking to me about love. You know what I mean? And it was all private lessons, so we would just hang out for like a long period of time. And we would train hard, and then we would sit there and talk while we were training, And he knows a lot of jiu-jitsu too. So we started doing a little bit of jiu-jitsu, especially when I got like a year sober is when I started doing jiu-jitsu because I was working at Legacy in LA. Under Alberto Crane.
You'll be seeing him soon.
Yeah, I'm so stoked to be seeing him again. Yeah. But, yeah, man, like, what I was getting at is that, like, these people that you train with, like, they're your accountability buddies. Mm-hmm. I already said that, really, but, like, they're also, like, everybody that's doing martial arts is generally trying to better themselves, so you're bettering yourself with them. You're like, the whole tribe is, like, the rising tide is lifting all boats. Yeah. And generally, if you come to the mat and you're, like, tired or you're, like, worn out, they're going to be like, what's wrong with you today? Mm. Well, you need to sleep more then. You know what I mean? Or you haven't been working out lately. Yeah. Like you haven't been coming in here. Where you been? And then you get smashed and they're like, well, you should have been coming in. We just like drilled this great technique and I just used it on you and you should have fucking been here, Yeah,
tribal atmospheres are cool because it kind of gives you an idea of what intimacy really means.
Yeah.
And it kind of, like you just said, like you walk in the gym, people are like, yo, you look tired. You okay?
Yeah.
If someone asks you, are you okay?
Yeah.
And you haven't said anything to them, that means that you have an intimate relationship with that person.
Yeah.
Intimacy means that you can see into me.
Yeah.
And you're going to get that at 12-step meetings that you built a foundation with. You're going to get that whether, group of jiu-jitsu. People are like, hey, Colton, what's wrong? You're not acting right.
Yep.
And that's going to, benefit you and not only staying clean, but just like bettering yourself. Because that's the cool thing. Like, Narcotics Anonymous is going to help you get clean.
Yeah.
It's going to give you ability to kind of get out there and get after shit.
Yeah.
The cool thing is when you see people, like, out there accomplishing shit. Because I see a lot of this. I see a lot of guys, they're like, Narcotics Anonymous Bob, and they got the Narcotics Anonymous hat with the NA shirt at the NA convention, and they can't hold a fucking job to save their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they're like almost there.
Yeah.
You know, if they go to meetings every day, they can like stay clean and
Mm-hmm.
they can just edge by and maybe that's what it is for them.
Yeah, man.
Maybe that's what it is for them.
Yeah.
But for me, the real blessings and gratitudes that are truly amazing is when you see other people like getting college degrees,
Yeah.
and getting that promotion,
Yeah.
and getting their black belt.
Yeah.
Because that's a product of them getting clean.
Yeah. You and I are both super driven individuals.
Yeah.
We're like that. We're goal oriented. Like we want to see results. We want people to succeed. We want people to be champions.
Yes.
You know?
Because of my ADHD, I'm very goal oriented in the shit I like.
Yeah.
And the shit I enjoy.
Me too.
Which means the stuff I can concentrate on.
Yeah.
So it's this weird mix where I am extremely like driven
Yeah.
in like the fitness world.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to be, you know, savage and really good at jiu-jitsu and all that stuff. But then there's so many other places where like I lack.
Yeah.
And I can't get shit done.
Yeah, dude.
You know, and it's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible and that's where you got to learn to you got to know like when to be nice to yourself, but
Yeah.
then you also need to know when to like tell yourself to like step up. And I struggle with that for sure. And I think everyone does.
Yeah. Me too.
You know,
Yeah.
I wish I could accomplish like everything that I like expressed a little interest in, but it seems to be only the things that I'm like really about.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I know it's hard for me to focus on stuff that, you know, like a lot of folks around here love to golf. I just can't get into it.
You know, everyone I
can't
work
get into
with,
it.
everyone I work with, they golf, and I just
I'm like, can you choke someone out though? Like if
Yeah,
it comes down
yeah.
to it with your, I mean,
I don't.
with your golf skills.
Never been into golfing. Never really been into football.
Yeah.
Everyone watches football, talks about
Yeah.
it, and you know where you play and you build your own league.
Fantasy league.
People just say, oh, they talk about. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I have no interest.
I'd rather play Dungeons and Dragons, to be honest with you.
I'd like to learn how to play Dungeons and Dragons. I used to play this game called
It's
Super
dope.
Munchkin. You ever played Super Munchkin?
No.
It's kind of like a shorter, condensed version.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Okay.
Fun to nerd out and play.
Yeah.
How about have you played Werewolf?
No.
Oh my god, that's a fun game. Too.
Okay, nerd party. Here we come.
Yeah, we gotta have a nerd party.
Oh, yeah. All right, so here's one more question for you. What else, other than like the martial arts, did you fall in love with in recovery? Like, what did you become passionate about? What did you discover that you dig that you didn't know before?
My wife.
Come on.
My wife.
Nice.
For sure. She's my best friend.
Hell yeah.
And it took a while to, I think, like get to that place where you could like learn how to have a relationship. I think learning to love someone and have a healthy relationship was definitely something new that I learned, you know, getting clean.
Yeah.
Kind of to answer the question.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else. Other interests. You know, I don't have a lot. I'm a pretty simple guy. I
Yeah.
mean, I have my work that I do, which, you know, that's something I guess to be said is you know, me and my partner, you know, we work with, you know, men in recovery and try to help guys get clean and
Yeah.
and that kind of goes hand in hand with the martial arts thing for me sometimes. It's
Yeah.
really cool to kind of bring them over into that lane and have them try that. So that's kind of you know, kind of a passion. It's also something I'm doing for like a really long time. It's also kind of like a family business. You know, like my sister, you know, she owns a treatment center that I work for as well. And that's just kind of, it's weird. It's kind of like, I don't say it's like a family business, but it's kind of like
Yeah.
I grew up using with my sister and at a young age, and she got clean. Then she helped me get clean. And then I immediately, you know, started working in rehab. Moved here to open up the center and then started, you know, the program with my partner Nick, and it's just been like this for like 10 years almost. You know, it's crazy.
Asheville Recovery Center. That's the rehab we're talking about, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And what do you do for them? What's your job title?
So I'm one of the admissions coordinators.
Yeah.
So essentially just
Help people get there.
first point of contact. You call in, help get them in. But it's not where I started. I mean, god damn, I got back into college right away, and I started as a BHT. Just that's your in.
Yeah.
You know,
That's where I started too.
And God, I worked at this place. It was so horrible. They're shut down. I won't say the name of it, but it was like they just did not treat you right.
Yeah.
And it was for $10 an hour.
Yeah.
And it was just the hot sun in South Florida, and I didn't like it. And then finally, I was able to get a job at the rehab that I went to as a BHT, and I did that for years.
How long have you been clean now?
February 16th, 2013.
Wow.
I got clean. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
8
been,
years.
Yeah, it's been a while. So, and I've only kind of gotten into this, admissions, business development side probably just for the past year. So, and I say that because a lot of people, they kind of want to work in that portion of the industry as well, because it's fun and you get to go out, meet people and talk about the program and try to see how you can work with other programs and hospitals and stuff like that. And it brings a lot of joy.
How does ARC work with, because we do work together in a certain capacity, right? ARC and Oasis. We're closely related to one another or something, or?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it just that like our programs are kind of adjacent to one another? So since you're an intake coordinator, I've actually heard you do this. Like you've been on the phone with someone in front of me and been like, you should check out Oasis.
Well, sometimes, I mean, in terms of the relationship between Oasis and ARC, I think there's some really bright stuff in the future.
Cool.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
But everyone should be excited. There's a lot of really, really awesome stuff coming.
Sweet.
And I think Asheville's going to grow to be a very big hub for people to find multiple options to get clean. And I think that's great.
It's a place of healing.
It is.
It has been for me. I've lived here for a year now, and I've it's changed me for the better. Just being here and helping other people.
It's a hub. I mean, tons of people want to come here.
Yeah.
In terms of how Oasis and Asheville Recovery Center work together on a daily basis, what's great is because there's multiple programs in the area. Someone may call in, and at Asheville Recovery Center, we want to make sure that whoever comes in, they're going to be a good fit.
Yeah.
And everything that they want and they're asking for, the level of care that they need, we're going to be able to take care of all that. Now, 2 programs, we offer different things. So someone might call in and we might believe that, what, this person, they would be more successful somewhere else. And that's when we would kind of, refer them maybe to here, because we know that maybe the rule set here or the way that the daily programming is just would work better.
Do you guys do as much outdoor stuff as we do?
I don't know. We go hiking about once or twice a week.
Yeah, that's what we do
facilitate some like Tai Chi outside, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of the
You guys have Tai Chi, we have Qigong.
What's the difference?
I don't know. How dare I not know?
I don't know. I don't know the difference. Yeah, we also offer yoga, which is taught by my lovely wife. She teaches it on Wednesdays.
Nice.
She does
She's getting her hot yoga certification.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. She's killing it right now. I can't believe she does like 2 hot yoga sessions a day. That's gotta be brutal.
Yeah.
I do jiu-jitsu, and even when I do hot yoga, one of my students is actually like a yoga instructor, Joe.
Yep.
And it's funny because we kind of like trade off on like just like killing each other.
Yeah.
Because, he'll come and take a class, or we'll train together, and I'll just try to just, choke him out, whatever.
Yeah.
But then I'll go do one of his yoga classes, and he's just, all right, forward bend, hold that shit. I'm just like, oh my God.
He's such a teacher. Like he cannot get out of teacher mode. Like I will straight up catch him in an armbar, and then he'll start teaching me afterwards about what I'm doing wrong.
I think that's why he might love jiu-jitsu so much, because it might give him that only chance to be like a student in some way, shape, or form.
Well, he's not when it comes to me. Not when it comes to me. Like I will straight up armbar him, and he'll be like, you're really like
you could have, you could have snapped it like this.
Yeah, you just, you're. I'm sweeping you too often. Oh, I'm like, okay, cool, dude. Thank you so much.
Well, he definitely is a teacher.
He's a teacher.
Extremely knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So I hurt my back, and he was like helping me realign it, stuff
okay.
like that. So I don't know, that's cool. That's another thing too with training, is you get to meet like a lot of really, really cool people.
Yeah.
That can help you. You know, it's kind of like the Freemasons.
Yeah.
A lot of cool people.
We have secret handshakes.
Get
and
jammed up. Oh yeah, the slap and bump. Oh shit. So yeah, I don't know. It's been a pretty productive few years here. We opened up the program, and then me and my buddy, we started our sober living program, and we've helped a lot of people in some way, shape, or form. But in the big picture, there's still like a lot of work to be done. I believe in terms of substance abuse and helping people. We're trying to throw like everything at it that we can. And you have state-funded options and you have private options, and people can be successful in both and unsuccessful in both. I think a lot of it comes down to the individual being like ready to get clean, but still, I feel like we're missing something. I feel like sometimes I feel like it's like a losing battle, and that's hard to say, and that's because I've been doing this for so long, and you and me both know people that you find them dead.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Extremely traumatic. And you kind of want to like stick around and see like, what can we do to like figure this shit out?
Yeah.
To what's the missing piece? Going back into it, the $1 million idea. What's going to help people really get this thing and stay clean? And for me, it's getting clean, joining 12-step fellowship, and building as much value in your life as you can.
Yeah.
If you have 30, 60, 90 days clean and you've just been like drinking Red Bulls and chasing chicks around, ain't nothing to be like, well, let's just get high. Because you haven't progressed at all.
Yeah.
But when I had 90 days clean, I was like immediately back in college, training jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, I tried to get clean a few times.
Me too.
Already.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew my way didn't work.
Yep.
And I had to like go all in.
That's the sad thing, is that like a lot of times when people come in and they haven't had their will broken or they haven't hit their particular rock bottom, they want to keep trying to do it their way. They want to do it the Frank Sinatra way, And it's like, if I try to Frank Sinatra this shit, like I have to learn the hard way that doesn't work, unfortunately. That's how I had to learn. And it's like the sad thing is that you cannot impress upon people that they're going to die. They have to somehow come to that like light bulb realization that they're going to die if they keep doing it, and that they don't want to. And you can't force that piece of knowledge Inception style into people's heads, And that's what's scary, right? Because you see these people come in that you love.
Yeah.
There's these young dudes that are like champions. You're like, dude, you are a champion. Like I can see it. I see greatness in you, And they're like, cool, I'm going to go get high one more time. And then they fucking die.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like for some reason, I feel like it's a lot of people thinking like it won't happen to me.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people that died.
Yeah.
I knew they wanted to live.
Yeah, me too.
Like they wanted to live.
Yeah.
I think they were in some way, shape, or form like in denial about like this, either like not like being able to kill them, or that maybe it was some manageable problem that they could handle.
Yeah.
Now there are individuals I know have, passed away from overdoses, and I knew they were pretty checked out. And there's a lot of debate, like was it a suicide?
Yeah.
I remember when my cousin passed away. he had been in such a low point for so long. There was like a kind of large debate, like was this an overdose? Did he take his own life? And later on we kind of through investigating, figured out that wasn't the case, because he was with other people when he passed away. But they were just partying, getting high,
Yeah.
just trying to get by, and fatal doses. But on the grand scheme of things, you see more people not get it. Actually, nope. Coming back, I want to say something. It's a really great quote that I heard, and like you need to kind of like help people realize like they're gonna die. And it's kind of like this thing where they say like you have two lives. There's the one you live, and then there's the life you live when you realize you're going to die. And a lot of people, like, you could have a fucking traumatic, you could have your legs blown off, or a huge car accident, and that's the thing that wakes you up, like how fragile this thing is. That's kind of a great point that you made. It goes really in line with that quote. I think a lot of people don't realize how fragile their life is and how life is in general. And they are taking it for granted. Life is not really like happy all the time. To me, it's like life is a tragedy, or it could be comedic.
Yeah.
It all depends how you look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very fragile. A lot of bad shit can happen. I don't know. But then you have people where maybe they do overdose, and it's like the wake up call for them. And that's their like second life.
Yeah.
That's when they're not going to take this shit for granted. I kind of had something like that. I had an extremely serious like health scare, so to speak, about a year ago, and that it like leveled me, you know, like realizing like you can die, you can become really sick, and you can be doing the right thing. It's kind of, you know. Not saying I'm perfect,
Right.
but kind of like that why me, why God, you know, God thing, and it's kind of like, and I always say this to my brother-in-law, you know, why not you? Anybody can get it in terms of bad shit happening, you know, and that's kind of what I tell sponsees or people that I work with, like you can be doing everything right and still eat a shit sandwich. But that's kind of when it's up to you, like that's when you got to like invoke the spirit to like get through it. You know, because that's when shit hits you the hardest.
Yeah.
When you're doing the wrong thing, it's expected bad stuff's going to happen.
Yeah.
When everything's going well and you know, everything's going right and you're killing it, and then just boom, you know, you're like, why me? Why not you?
Well, why not is the answer.
And that's kind of, I'm not saying that was like when my second life started, but that was a huge, like, the most important thing is your health and your happiness.
You know what's weird? Did you post this quote today or something?
Not today, but I've
Was it recently?
No, I've referenced it maybe like 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay, so check this out. I saw that quote today.
There's a guy on Rogan, I think. I don't know who said it.
I think it was a chick. In fact, like there was like a lady or something. I saw it today scrolling on my feed. Like, yeah. So it's apparently it's the theme of the day, and it's funny. Like, why I said, you know, you have to impress upon these people that they're gonna die, you know, and that they don't want to, you know, like that's what it took for me. Finally, when I got sober this time, it was because I had this, you know, this stark realization that I was gonna die. You know, I could feel I felt sick. I felt like my liver was hard. Yeah. I felt icky all up on the inside. Like I felt like death. You know, I felt like death. I was like knocking on death's door, and I didn't think that I could continue using the way that I was and drinking the way that I was and so on without killing myself, like with suicide. You know what I mean? By just committing suicide. Yeah. So when I realized that I was going to die one way or the other and that I didn't want to, that's when my life changed. So like I'm living that quote, you know, and it's interesting that it's the second time I've heard it today. It's really, really wild.
That's cool. Yeah, and I think it's a big part of it. I think a lot of people are in denial, like for the most part, or they think this won't happen to you. I remember that. I remember growing up and I remember like going to like drug classes, being like 9 years old.
Yeah,
like,
dare.
And she thought doing cocaine would be fun and it wouldn't happen to her, and she died. You're like, oh shit. You know?
Dang.
You know? And,
well, I'll never do that. Do you remember? I don't know if you thought that, but I was like, well, I'm never doing that.
Dude, I remember they got wild. There was like this guy came in, and all I remember is like this motherfucker juggling. All right, cool. Yeah. Next thing pops out the unicycle. Yeah. Juggling on the unicycle. Then he's like, I need a participant, you know, and like everyone's raising their hand. Billy next to me raises his hand. Billy gets picked. Yeah. And I know like this isn't like a setup. Right. Even though I'm like 9, I'm like, this is wild.
This
like,
is real.
I wish it was me.
Yeah.
This fucker puts Billy up on his shoulders. This guy's riding a unicycle around, fucking juggling
with Billy on his shoulders.
Yeah, pinballs. Yeah. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. Yeah. You know?
And he yells up at Billy, all right, start punching me. Yeah. Billy's punching him in the head.
So then that act is over, and then he just like uses his last 5 minutes to tell us this like horrible story about like this like amazing woman like tried cocaine once and died.
Dang, dude.
And I was like, this is like weird.
Yeah, they bring you up.
The way
you're all in rapt attention.
Transpired. I was just like, oh yeah, to wrap things up, cocaine is bad, and if you do it, you're gonna die.